Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Not Another Leeds podcast. I said it right this week because another Leeds United podcast, there's no harm, is there? And with me this week, I have the crab and goyle to my Malfoy. It's Kevin James of the Leeds House podcast. Hello, boys.
He's crab. Do you all right,
mate? He's crabby.
Which one's crab?
And then we have...
You.
Okay.
We have Professor Russo himself back for a third time. He's made podcast history. He's made history. Yeah. He's breaking all the records on this one. He's Mr. Russo, and he's here for the third time. So welcome back, Andrea.
Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, I saw your graphics, so I'm live from the studio, the studio of Professor Dumbledore today.
Are you live from Hogwarts?
Yeah, I'm live from Hogwarts, and yeah, Kev told me before that I sounded Scottish, so try to put on an accent to pretend I'm Scottish now. So let's see how it works, you know.
yeah. I mean, I must admit the acoustics where you are sound amazing. Not one bit of echo.
Yeah, because
then again,
it's not here anymore. So the street's all for me now.
It's a source of magic, isn't it? James, how you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm okay, buddy. I feel good. For tomorrow, yeah. All things happy.
Good. Kev, I'd ask if you're okay.
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm not feeling too good.
He's been a trooper tonight, peeps. So, right. Obviously, it was a shorter podcast last week, wasn't it? Because we played on the Friday. You thought I'd forgot again, didn't you? You thought I forgot. No. Not on this, Nelly. We've got another sponsor, boys. At this point, they're that big. I've got the pile of paper supporting the table. It's under one of the legs. So this one, I think you could put them down as classics, you know. But anyway, so here we are. It's this week's sponsor. Roll the VT. What? Sorry, Juicer. Yeah, roll the VT. What are you doing?
Get ready for a journey down Ellen Road's memory lane. All of your favourites and all of their classics in one place. Crowd classics such as La Soga, Get in the Box, you fat. You're too fat to play for Leeds. And Take Your Drum and Off Hall. Order now to receive the Christmas special story, Brendan Goes to the North Pole, the special floor edition.
By popular demand, I've already got some orders already for the Christmas special, and it's a magical story about how a young American boy. Don't laugh too hard. Don't hold it in, Kevin.
No, Aronson dresses an elf.
Oh no, yeah, that was brilliant.
Little drummer boy.
James, have you heard any of them? I mean, have you got any classics to add to yourself? Bear in mind, you can't beep yourself out.
Yes.
I've got all of the fake DVDs that you've made, mate. I've got all of them. Yeah, I've got
fake?
Decora's Dance Hits 96. Sorry, not fake. I meant brilliantly made.
I think you mean uniquely copied. Yeah,
uniquely, yeah.
Andrea,
uniquely.
Andrea, have you got any Italian ones that we could add to the list?
Italian ones, well, there's plenty. I think if you look at some chance, but there's plenty. But yeah, I think the English ones are more creative, and it's a different vibe when you listen to the English ones. Especially take your drum and fuck off home. You know, at Leicester it was fun. You know, because probably I don't know if they're available. The band that used to sound and sing at Leicester Stadium, you know, for weddings and the receptions at Dewsbury Hall, probably after the game, you know, because Dewsbury was nowhere to be seen last time. But yeah, in Italy.
Ooh, shade.
Yeah.
Andrea
think-
throwing shade already.
I think you
no.
missed the trick there by not having Felix Wiedewald for Leeds Navidad in there, though. That would have been all right in there too. Unless I'm just being an idiot.
Christmas,
Yeah, I'm
Christmas,
sick. Just
yeah.
don't listen to me, mate. Don't listen to me.
No, but
Christmas.
Italian
Ignore him,
songs, you
everyone.
know, I think in England you're more creative in Italian, so just insults, you know, to players and all that. Especially if you watch the AC Milan PSG game, you watch what they did against Donnarumma, the AC Milan Ultras, you know, what game insulting him. So it's a bit different here. Yeah.
Right, then. So let's go all the way back Friday. It was a short episode for us last Friday, and we were all cacking it for a, lack of a better word. But we all had a high scoring draw or an high scoring. Well, I know James one. He's just cool as a cucumber, ice in his veins. But I'll come to you first, actually, James. I mean, what's your brief overview of the game? Were you nervous at all, deep down in those icy veins?
No. Not after we started the way we did. I thought from the first minute we were on it. And even when they started taking over the ball, we were compact. They couldn't break us down. They got a bit of success first half on the wings, but second half we sort of nullified that with the wingers tracking back. But we were brilliant all game. And we looked more threatening as well going forward. And they had one shot on target at the 94th minute, 93rd minute. Just dominated them really in an understated way. No, we didn't just completely overrun them. We just controlled them, and yeah, it was brilliant to watch. Really, really good.
Yeah. Andrea?
Yeah, it was brilliant. To be fair, you know, proper Leeds win. The way we started, like Jim said, you know, was convincing. I think we played the game we needed to play. You know, we attacked when we needed to attack, and when we scored, we defended in the trenches, deep down. You know, in our own half. But you know, we won at Ipswich. We won at Leicester now. Won away at the top two teams in front of us. So I think this victory can give us momentum going forward, starting from tomorrow. So tomorrow is a must-win game for sure, because you know, Plymouth. I think they're a little bit like Ipswich in terms of how they play, but of course they are low down in the table. That's the difference with Ipswich. So it's absolutely a must-win game. The games that can exploit our strengths, you know. But returning to the Leicester game, it was brilliant. You know, it was an injection of optimism and togetherness, and also tactical masterclass, because Farke, we know him as a offensive football minded coach manager, but he understood that he needed to retreat back, you know, into our own half and defend the one goal. We did that properly, you know. So it's good to see that our team can transform in various formation and adapt to what the game needs, you know, and ask you for.
Yeah. Kev, we'll go right to the beginning. Actually, the Perot should have been putting that chance away, shouldn't he?
Yes. Yes, he should.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he should have, mate. Yeah, it was.
Are you okay?
No, but it's fine. Don't worry, okay. Yeah, it was a big chance actually. I think looking back on it, I know we've mentioned this on Sunday too and Tuesday. It was a big chance, but we both have mentioned it. It probably just fell to him a little bit too early in the game, and he hasn't scored for a few matches as well. So maybe he's feeling the non-scoring jinx across him right now. But he'll be all right.
Yeah,
he'll score tomorrow. He'll score tomorrow.
He'll score 5 tomorrow.
I have to agree with Andrea. If we don't win tomorrow, then what's the point of us beating Leicester last week? Because it's a must win tomorrow. We have to beat these teams like that. Have to, especially at home.
Yeah, especially with Ipswich dropping points now as well.
And Leicester have got Middlesbrough, and Ipswich have got Swansea.
Swansea at home.
And they've won 3 away games in a row as well. Swansea have really good away from home. We have to win tomorrow.
I think Leicester lose and Ipswich drew.
Yeah,
they draw for me. So not draw.
Wow,
I think that's for me. That's fine for me.
Well, we'll come on to that in a little bit. But I think like I remember watching it, and I was just like, right, their main threat were coming down the wings for me with Mavididi. I keep getting his name wrong. Is it Fatuatu?
Fatawu.
I'm just going to call him Fatty because I can't remember what his name is. So Mav and Fatty, I just thought they were just relentless. I mean, especially when he did that, he sold Byram, didn't he? And he just cut inside and then he whacked it and then he hit it too sweet and it rattled the bar. I mean, James, were we lucky not to concede there, or do you think it would just?
He didn't hit the target, did he?
What the green?
Didn't hit the target. It was a good attempt. Didn't hit the target. So, no, we didn't get lucky. He missed the target. He opened him up. He had space, and it was a good attempt. But he didn't hit the target. So it was just as just like Perot's shot. It didn't go in, did it? So obviously it was a bit closer. So that's it.
I feel like you've been extra sassy tonight, you two. I mean, what's going on?
Don't know, mate.
Andrea, I mean, these Mav and Fatty, what are your thoughts on them? I mean, do you think? I mean, I thought Archie Gray did really well, considering.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he did well. He did more than well. He struggled a bit in the first half, but in the second half he was brilliant. Absolutely stopped Mavididi because with our defensive formation, we send them consistently onto the wings with Mav and Fat, as you call them, like Ant and Deck. And I think we coped pretty well with them. They were the main threat, but they didn't get one dribbling right. Maybe they got past our players, but there was always another player ready to block their pass towards goal and into the area of the box. So there are two good players. Obviously, I think Fatawu was also included in the top 11 of the week by the EFL, but they didn't include Kamara, for example. So what's the point, Especially after we won at Leicester, you don't include the man of the match, Glenn Kamara. The prize awarded after the game, so it was also awarded by the EFL. You don't include the best player in the best game in the most anticipated game of the week in England, Leicester versus Leeds, at least in the Championship, and you include Fatawu. So there's some points, sometimes that got you talking and thinking about how they make those top 11s, because they included Fatawu, who had that crossbar hit, and they didn't include Kamara, who was basically everywhere. It was like he was apparating everywhere into the pitch, It was like a wizard.
Don't like us, no one likes us, mate.
Yeah, especially, did you see the Leicester fans after the game as well? Yeah. Oh, well, mind the gap. And it's like, all right, would you beat you?
They were probably...
Chill out, mate. 91 points, that's 93 points.
They confused. They thought they were in Leicester Square, probably, in the tube, saying mind the gap. They were like broken discos, broken CDs.
Mind the gap and intelligence.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about mind the gap, Danny, we have three premierships. They have one.
Exactly,
mind the gap.
Exactly.
In that case.
So well, you touched on him there, Andrea, about Kamara. Kev, I'll go with Kamara, mate.
Good. It was really good. He was really, really good. He was absolutely fantastic. The best game I've seen him play. He was everywhere. The way he barged Vardy over, that was brilliant. He's passing, he's slipping between the lines, press resistant. Great all-round performance. And I watched him on the official Leeds earlier, and he seems to think he's not 100% yet either. So if he keeps carrying like that, he's going to be great. I know you like him, Danny. I think he's like your favourite player at the moment, isn't he? But he's starting to win over everyone. Even Jer said last night on the podcast he made a mistake. He's not an average midfielder. He's a good midfielder, and fair play to him for coming out and saying that too. It was just he's could be one of the signings of the season. He's quietly moving himself up that pecking order within the players. He's great, and just means that probably Archie Gray is going to be playing more right back until Spence comes back, and then we'll have a lot of competition in centre midfield. Very impressed with him, Danny. Really impressed, mate. I can see why you like him so much now.
Yeah, it's just the way that he comes and calls for the ball, activates the motion. Meslier turns to him, and then he just drops his shoulder, and he can pass it out to whether it's Archie Gray or Sam Byram, and then we're on the attack, and that's how it works. And I love how he can cut the pass in between the midfielders and just find that, you know, a Perot or a Rutter, if you will. James, like, we'll move on to Somerville now. I mean, obviously Somerville's been our best player, you could argue, for the past couple of games. I mean, I personally thought he was marked out of the game. I think they just doubled up on him, didn't they? What do you think, mate?
I did. I think he didn't get a lot of joy going forward, but the game shone for him in his defensive work. Like, he showed a side of him that he hasn't really showed a lot of. I know he's got better, but against Leicester, second half especially, he really, really worked, really helped out Byram. So yeah, he showed another part to his game, which is it's going to help him improve even more. So yeah, happy with him.
Yeah,
for that reason.
Andrea, are you going to get a Leeds shirt with Kamara on it anytime soon?
No, because I explain you why. You know, I have all the shirts apart from one from that I bought because I really like the player of Radebe back from the days, you know, from the early 2000s, you know. But ever since I got just kits without the name on the back, because you know I like the shirts, you know, but not I don't want them to be associated with the players specifically. So I want to remember the season as a whole. When I look back at those shirts, you know, actually the first one I got was in 2012. That I ordered, the first order I made with Inter, probably. I was in the second year of high school back then, you know. And I made a mistake that back then, you know, when I ordered the shirt, probably after that, because I ordered the shirt, and back then in Italy, because in Italy it's different. You see that a lot of fans in England, they got the shirts without the name on the back, because they say I want to support the club and not a specific player. In Italy, it's the opposite. You always get the shirt with a name on the back. And back then, we had just signed Paul Green, and I liked him when he was at Derby, so I got the shirt with Paul Green on the back, and it didn't turn out well for him at Leeds, so probably that's why I haven't bought shirts with a name on the back ever since, you know, probably going forward into during all those years, you know.
Yeah,
great.
I agree.
Yeah.
Great player.
Apart from
just good
blunder,
Derby, not on Leeds.
So, what did you think about Somerville, Andrea? Do you agree that? Did you think he was marked out of the game as well?
Yeah, I think overall, looking at the way he's playing, like now, not just Leicester, you know, I think he's probably our star alongside the Rotter, you know. Now they're targeting him too, physically, you know, in games, like they did with Gnonto, you know, trying to stop him. I think he's having a very good moment, and trying to look forward in the future. There's probably one of the players that, if we don't get promoted, they'll probably go in the summer, and that's why we need to get promoted, because I think he can be he can leave a mark in the Premier League too, like Rotter, you know, in his new role. But it's fundamental that we get promoted. It's a player that can change the rhythm and the score with just one action, one dribbling, you know. And you need those kind of players, those top players in your team, able to change the game with their talent, because sometimes, you know, we've already seen that in certain games that we play against narrow formations, teams that have an ultra defensive mindset and football philosophy, so there's not much spaces, and you need players that can dribble, and Somerville can definitely dribble. He single-handedly won it at Norwich, and he's having a great moment, and hopefully he can keep doing that, you know, because we've seen last season in the Premier League that he had a very good moment when we won against at Liverpool, and then against Bournemouth at home. Then he had ups and downs performances, but you know, he's still young, so consistency is the key, is what he needs to find, and I think the Championship is the best league to work on that now for him.
Yeah. Kev, we had some early penalty shouts. Well, we had 2 penalty shouts from what I remember in the game. Are the penalties few? I mean, you've seen them given.
I think Jorginho Uda, his one was pretty good. Kreese was more. Actually, sorry, got it way around. Udder's penalty should have been given, and Kreese shouldn't have. Yeah.
Udder.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Rutter. Yeah, I've got milk on my mind for some reason. Yeah, we've got milk on my mind. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
What about for you, James? Was it Udder's? Oh, you got me saying it now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he sort of stood on his foot a little bit, didn't he? But I don't know if it was enough to make him go down. But it looked a bit awkward the way he went down. Just touching on Somerville, last season when he went on that little run, didn't he? He scored against Leicester. Was it Fulham, Bournemouth, Liverpool, and then Spurs, and then it was a World Cup. So I think the World Cup sort of put a little dent in his momentum a little bit, because when they come back, they're all short, weren't they? So, but yeah, no, the Somerville's I don't think was a penalty either. No.
It would have been harsh if they were given, I suppose.
Yeah.
So let's go. We'll talk about the goal then. Andrea, a good sequence of events, or I mean, I thought it was well rehearsed. I mean, Byron, I think he's been quite threatening from that near post run.
Yeah, I think Byron made the difference there, and Jorginho was just at the right place at the right time. But, the sequence of events was emotional in terms of, the celebrations after the goal, because those were scenes, limbs, as you like to call them in England, those were proper limbs, and it shows you the magnitude of that goal, and the fact that the squad understood how big the 3 points were at stake in that game, because let's remember that they just lost 1 in 14 games before that. So they were full of confidence. We went to their place and won. And especially we won against a direct rival. So it's really important. Also the fact that maybe it's a photography, but Byram, one of the veterans, started the action, and one of the young players coming through, Rotor, finished the goal. It's a good mix, I think, of veterans and young players, our squad. And I say veterans in terms of also, for example, Ampadu, because he's still a young player probably, because he's been around since he was 16, but he's still young when he started at Chelsea. But those players have played in Serie A, they've played in the Premier League, so we have a good mix of players who have experience in certain leagues, and a good bunch of young players coming through, like Somerville, like Archie Gray is the perfect example, of course. And I'm a little bit worried now that I've just read that today about Liverpool interest, but I don't think it'd be a good move for him next summer. I think he'll need to wait, because he's still not at his level. Sometimes he struggles also in championship games, because he's still developing and evolving his game. But the maturity he has is mind blowing, honestly. He had, like we said before, he had a great game at Leicester, but there have already been multiple games when he was amazing. He's just missing a goal, probably score tomorrow after hopefully score tomorrow. Sorry. But yeah, he still needs to develop. It's different. There's a lot of people comparing him to Bellingham, and when I read that, I think it's a little bit of overreaction, because he's great in a certain level, but he still needs to develop, and especially going forward, he can be better, I think, as a right back, not as a midfielder. I rate him more as a right back now than a midfielder. But
I'm starting to like him at right back as well, Andrea. I really started to like him at right back.
Yeah,
I think if he carries on the way he's doing and keeps churning out these performances, then he'll be a legend. He'll be legendary for this club. You know what I mean? Absolutely fantastic. If he keeps churning them out, he'll be fine. A great player.
Yeah, and there's also the historic connection, with his granddad that used to play in the same position as a fullback in defense when he was at Leeds. But apart from the family connection, of course, is like I've said, he's turning that performance. I think he has more chances to go forward and go higher in his career in that position now. But of course, when Spence will return from injury, I think we'll switch back Gray to midfield. But you know what? I think he'll be their first option from the bench, because Kamara and Ampadu right now, we need to keep going with them, I think, because there's a good chemistry between them.
Also, I think they might push him a bit more further forward too. If anything happens to Pirro or Rutter, I think they'd put Gray the further forward out of those three. Because let's be honest, he could probably play in every single position. He's great, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a good shout. This one, good shout. This one in the 10 position. Try him in the 10 position too. Because Pirro in the 10 is still struggling in my point of view.
What do I mean? What does it say about like Luke Ayling and I mean Rasmus Christensen, a flaccid Viking? You won't put him above Archie Gray when a 17-year-old is your best right back, and he can play because we've actually got healthy options in midfield now. He's playing right back. I mean, what does that say about Luke Ayling, James?
It says that he gets taken past every single time he plays. That's exactly what it says.
Right.
So
we'll move on. We'll move on. Right. We'll stick with you, James, but we'll move on. Luke Ayling came on, and his first interaction positive, Dewsbury Hall beat him to the ball, and luckily Millier had the reactions of 1,000 gazelles, and he just clawed it out of because that were going in.
He was going in. And I think Ayling just thought, he hasn't made a save. I'll get him involved in the game a little bit, and this time has jumped. So yeah, but he did clear the after ball, so we'll give him that one.
Yeah, he did. All right, we'll lay off him this time. Eh? About you, Kev, mate. I mean, what a save that one, mate.
It was all right, wasn't it? Absolute Iceman. I'm gonna defend Luke Ayling here. It's like he ain't been on the pitch long, and that's my only criticism I've got for Farke. He brings defenders on like really late in games, and being a defender is hard to get into a game, especially because I was on the bench a lot, right? I know what it's like coming off the bench being a defender, and it takes, especially when they're coming at you, for the last 10 minutes as well, it takes a time to get into the rhythm of the game. So I'm actually going to defend him here and just say he didn't have enough time to get into the match, but he did clear it away, and he did swing some good dead legs as well. So I'm just going to stick up for him there. But yeah, Melier, Iceman, what a save. You shall not pass.
I will say that Ayling would have still done that if he was on for 89 minutes before. I still think
yeah, come on, mate.
But
James, stop.
He did just come on. He did just come on
over spilt milk, mate. Yeah, just leave him alone for God's sake, man.
I think Ayling's just gone past your eyes now, mate.
Oh, that's mature. Anyway, the Luke Ayling, I mean,
look at Andrea's like that. What the hell is going on here?
No. I was thinking that
he's made it.
If we stay down, probably let's stay. If we go up and get promoted, I think this needs to be the last season of them. As at least if they stay in the squad, they need to be like players who stay around. Try to help in the daily operations at the
like Jay Spearing, does at Liverpool,
exactly.
doesn't he? He has a game in like Tom Hiddleston. They have games in 21s like every now and then, but they're basically just part of the coaching staff, aren't they? It's what
no. I'm not saying that as the coaching staff yet at this stage, but like players who are basically sporadic squad players. They're still in the squad. They help in terms of leadership, but in terms of rotation players, we've seen that sometimes you cannot rely on them in certain games. I think Cooper struggled against Huddersfield and Ayling struggled against Ayling. But overall, I agree with what Kev said. I also played in defense when I used to play football when I was young. So yeah, it's difficult to enter in a game, especially at the late stages of the game as a defender, because you need to form the line and understand the pace and the level of the game and the rhythm. So it's not easy as a defender, but I think unfortunately, because they're modern legends, and if you look at the recent era of the club, especially under Bielsa, I think unfortunately if we get promoted, this needs to be the last season of them in the Leeds squad as starters / rotation players, because we need to bring in new bodies, I think, if we get promoted.
Yeah, and we need to get rid of all the absolute deadwood that will be coming back at the end of the season. Speaking of spilt milk, Mariska at the end, he said that Sunderland were better than us and we didn't deserve it. I mean, Kev, is he just being silly?
Yeah, that's a stupid comment to make. Ideally, is that it's not something you want your manager to be saying, considering third in the league who are chasing you just come and beat you, and we're the only team to beat the top two. Why was he's stupid, and both of them teams have got to come to Ellen Road as well. He's a silly man.
I think it's mind games. I do mind games.
What are you laughing at me for? I'm only little. Stop it.
He was like that as a player too, so he likes the spicy. He likes to cause controversy, you know. So
well, he's a baggy, isn't he? He started out as a baggy, didn't he? Or like a West Brom, a little shit
West Brom, Juve.
He's got knits. He's got knits.
He likes that. He likes that. Yeah. He likes the stripy kits.
Yeah, when he scored in a Turin derby, he scored in a Turin derby in the last minute of the game. You know that the Turin derby is Juventus against Torino, which have as their club badge a bull, a bull, and Maresca celebrated after that goal he scored.
Not a cow? Is it not a cow?
No, not a cow. It's a bull.
Well, sorry.
Yeah.
He still milk a bull.
He scored in injury time, and he celebrated like that, mimicking a goal in front of the Torino fans. Yeah, and they went mad. Wow. It was in 2001, I think. Yeah.
So if they'd have won, they'd have dragged out a peacock and beat it up, wouldn't he? If they'd have won on.
Just strangle it like that.
Rip its feathers out.
Yeah, he's like that,
Anyway, welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast, where it's absolute chaos. If you're here for the first time, get used to it and like and subscribe. Thank you very much. So we'll move on. So final thoughts on the game, actually, Kev. Did we deserve it in the end?
Yeah, I think we're milking it a bit though by talking about it too much. Don't you think? We've been going.
Well, we could do what we want.
We can do what we want.
I've had Fox's botherers, right? I've had them all week in my DMs. I've got a mate who's a Leicester fan, a Fox botherer, in his spare time, and I'm not having it. So I'm milking it as much as I can.
You should.
You have the CD too. You have the CD too. Amongst those CDs you saw before, what does the Fox say? You have that one too.
Yeah. It says, "Well, we're still top of the league. We're still top of the league.
Mind the gap.
Mind the gap."
L stands for Leeds, everyone.
Do you know they call a batch a cob as well? They call a batch a cob in Leicester.
It's not right. Let's not get there because this could cause an international incident.
That will,
right?
Cheese cob.
What I call it.
Yeah, it'll be something different, won't it? Yeah.
What I call it. Do you want to go there?
No, let's leave it. That's tea cake. Yeah, tea cake. Yeah.
Tea cakes have got raisins in.
If we go off this, if we go on like this, we'll turn this into a calamity of a show. Honestly.
Oh, fucking hell. Right.
Oh, God. Let's move
one more, Kevin,
this.
and I'm kicking you. Anyway, let's move on to the news of the week, right? So we've got 3 points. We're catching them up. Ipswich are dropping points, which is good because they're due to Rotherham. And then it's down to 8 points, I believe. Is it 8 points now? Yeah.
11 and 8, and 11 from Leicester.
Yeah. So we'll start with recent news. Actually, today it's come out that Liverpool are preparing a summer bid for Archie Gray. I mean, Andrea, you touched on it just briefly. I mean, do you think it goes for less than 50 million?
No, I don't think so, because now we have proper owners. Not owners that, like in the past, they sell at the first opportunity. We've seen that with Gnonto. Give us 35/30 millions. Everton didn't want to give us that money, so we kept the player. So right now, I think if we're looking to sell, we set a price tag and we stick with that price tag. We need to do like Brighton. Brighton are the masters in that regard. They set a price tag and they stand by their asking price and they invest the money, like Ajax used to do also in the past, but now it's not working anymore. And I think it's a good example. Also, Brentford are starting to do that too. Mm-hmm. I think they will do that with Tony too, for example. But like I said previously, very briefly, I think Gray is not at the level yet. I think he still needs to develop a lot, and I think he needs to stay at Leeds. He's just started his career. I think he needs to find maturity. He already has it, but he needs to progress. He needs to progress slowly in his career in terms of gaining experience and moving already to a big club where he'll be sitting on the bench because they are full of good players. I get that there's going to be a generational change probably because some of the players they still have in the squad from when they won the league or when they reached the Champions League final are not performing well. So they need to change certain parts of the squad, but I don't think he will do any good for him right now at this stage of his career. Probably he'll go there and be sent out of loan like they did with Calvin Ramsey, for example. Joe tweeted that like an example today. But there's other example, Ben Woodburn, product of the Liverpool Academy. When you burst through the scene at Liverpool, they really hype you. For example, Ben Woodburn, he scored
against us. Yeah, he scored against us, didn't he, Andrea?
In the FA Cup, I remember that because I interviewed Silvestri after that game. Yeah, I remember that because of Woodburn too.
Just casually throwing that out there.
Yeah, no, because I remember that. No, because because I interviewed Silvestri after that, and I remember asking him about the away support. Because I remember watching that game; it was amazing. You can just hear just the Leeds fans, and he was saying our fan bases are mental lads. They're really mental when they go at the game. So I made that connection. But remember Woodburn scoring, and they used to say. There's a starman playing on the right. His name is Danny Woodburn, and he's fucking dynamite. So look at him now. He struggled a bit to find his space. So, I don't think he'll do any good to achieve moving there at this stage of his career. Probably later on, if he wants to move to one of the so-called top clubs in terms of results and, of course, European Cups participation.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's a prime example of that. Calvin Ramsey, isn't it? I know I saw the tweet that Joe put out there. He's not played. He didn't play anything for Liverpool, and I think he's gone out on to Preston. Is it
Preston? Yeah, Preston.
He's gone to Preston. So no. So James, I'll come on to you. Your favourite player, Gnonto. He's been laughing at rumours that he's unsettled and unhappy in the squad. I mean, we'll come back to it, Andrea, because he'll probably hear more on the Italian side. But what's your thoughts on Gnonto? Do you think he's happy, or do you think it's just all it's rubbish that all the reports that are coming out?
Mate, I'm sick of hearing about it. To be honest with you, it's doing my head in. The thing with me with Gnonto is, and I said it when it was all going on, and it's sort of like he was staying. He was sort of made to stay. The thing that I said about it is that you needed to come out and say something about it to get like Leeds fans going, okay, that he wants to be here, but nothing's been said. It's just been sort of left there. He's sort of playing part here and there, not playing his best. I know he's been injured and that. And then these stories keep popping out. You don't know if it's his agent or if he's actually unhappy. I don't know, and I don't care. I just want it done. If he's gonna go, just fuck off, and then just let us carry on. That's it. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, it is going on a bit too long now, isn't it, Kev?
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked Gnonto. You guys know that. I'm a big fan. I think he's got a high ceiling. I think what's telling is that he's been called into doing the 21 squad, hasn't he, this week, and not the full team. So he hasn't been playing as much because he's just coming back from injury. I want to get Andrea's take on that afterwards, but I agree with James. He needs to come out and say something. I know he's doing laughing emojis, and he is in training with the team, and if people who want to leave, Farker doesn't have him in the team, does he? Doesn't have him in training, and he looks all happy in that in the training videos that I've watched and the team media. But obviously, we don't know everything. But yeah, I agree with James. If he doesn't want to be here, then get your 30 mil if we can in January, and just reinvest it straight back in the club. Bring Jack Clark back for God's sake for half of that, and then invest the money to another centre back. I'd take. The only worry that I do have is if we lost Gnonto and we didn't get a replacement in, and then something happened to Cree or Dan James or any of those, I know Gnonto could step up. He just needs to get his fitness back, get some confidence back, and he'll fly again. It's more about what's in his head now than what's with his ability with me. And if he wants to stay, I hope he can. And if he doesn't want to be here, let's just get the money and reinvest it straight away. Because there is players that we could get in January for half of the amount of money that we get for Gnonto that could contribute straight away.
And they want to play for us as well.
Yeah, that's the key, innit? I mean, he said it day one. Farke said, if you don't want to be here, you can leave, and that's a Bielsa-esque trait. You know, that's what he did. Andrea, is anything from the Italian paper side, or anything from any whispers have you heard from over there?
No, because like I said in the past, you know, they don't really consider him and rate him here, so there's very little talk around them. There's no reference in the Italian press about Gnonto being unhappy and wanting to leave again, because there's no reference at all. You know, I think he's highly rated in England. He's a very good player, but right now, does he get into the team? No. For me, you need to play with James on the right and Somerville on the left because they're performing, and I don't think that he wants to, on a player's perspective. If I were him, you know, I wouldn't be unhappy because at Caps for Italy, I was really hyped and well talked about last season in the Premier League, because I keep saying that last season our best players were Tyler Adams and Wilfred Gnonto. And Gnonto, if you remember at the start, Jesse Marsh, you know, the reporter from Golasso, you know, in the Champions League, said that when we signed him, he needs to start with the under 23s, you know, at the beginning, you know. It doesn't say specifically that, but that's what he meant with his first quotes about when asked about Gnonto, you know. And it turned out to be one of the two best players we had last season, performing consistently, you know. So if you look at on the player's perspective, you know, he was here on a high reputation last season. This season he started with that not wanting to play for Leeds, then retreating back after the transfer with Everton didn't happen. Then he was reintegrated into the squad at a good game at Ipswich. Then he got injured, and after he got injured, there were other players performing better and performing consistently, James and Somerville, so they need to start. I don't think he is happy, of course, to start off the bench. So I think the most likely transfer, if there's going to be a transfer in January, is probably Gnonto out of Leeds. If he keeps starting on the bench, I think, because it's not in his best interest, you know, because I think in his mind he wants to be, if Italy qualifies as the Euros, and of course not starting games, it doesn't help you. He was called up by the under-21s now for the next international break, not by the senior side. And there's other players that are performing better than him in the Italian squad in his position. So of course, I think we'll see if the situation keeps on like it's going right now, you know, with Somerville and James performing and Gnonto on the bench. I think we'll see a repeat probably of what happened, you know, in the summer with, of course, talks about the move for Gnonto. And I think they'll try to get a move because in the end, you know, he's not playing and he's an asset because there'll be offers for sure. Of course, we're not going to get 30 millions. I think realistically it's a 15, 20 for me right now because he's not playing and he's been injured. But I agree with Kev. If we looking to sell one player, if we will have to sell one player in January, I think that'll be Gnonto, and you have to really invest the money to, for example, Jack Clark. That would be brilliant. But also another option, transfer-wise, will be sending him out of loan for 6 months to a top-tier side, then a straight loan with no option to buy.
Yeah,
it'd be difficult because the other teams will want to make a permanent for him at the end of the deal, but you need to out your ground and try to get a basic loan with no option to buy for 6 months.
I agree with you there, Andrea. Yeah, definitely. I thought about that. If he's not getting the game time at Leeds, okay, he could go out on loan because he wants to get into that Italy squad for next year. Imagine how good he will go out and play. What are you doing, James? What is that for?
Fucking loan.
Yeah, I know, but we've still got 2 loan slots left ourselves. Loan him out. He needs to smash it in that loan spell to go out and to get into that early squad as well. It'll just add money on and then sell him afterwards as well. Yeah.
I think we're not forced to sell him after that. I think if you get promoted and he's performed well in the loan in a top tier side, I think we can keep him. But of course, if we don't get promoted, he knows that he has performed well, so he doesn't want to stay in the Championship again. So yeah, and also Danny, touched about it briefly when you talk about Gnonto. I think it's still the agent if the rumors are getting out abroad, over the channel, not in my homeland, but it's still the agent trying to move something around to try to see if there's interest around his player, because of course he's not getting games. So my player is not getting games. I'm trying to look for a solution for him. And that makes sense in an agent's perspective, because back then Gnonto was a starter at the start of the season, and he didn't want to be there because he wanted to play in a top tier side. He wanted to play, for example, in the Premier League. Right now, he's not playing because there's players performing better than him. So he doesn't want to stay, for example, if that is the case, because he's not playing, not because he wants to leave for a top tier side.
See,
I think he will play. Sorry, mate. Sorry. I think he will play. He will play. Coming up after this international break, there's going to be a lot of games in a short space of time. So he'll play. He'll play times. He just needs to perform when he plays. I mean, and it says a lot about us as last season, where our two best players was Adams, who was injured for half the season, and Gnonto, who had 5-minute spells in games where he was amazing and then just disappeared. We were shit last year, weren't we?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Absolutely. But yeah, that's the best scenario if that happens. When he gets back and performs.
That's it.
Yeah,
he needs to.
I think it's interesting you say that if he goes in January, and we've just been linked to a player today or this week even, the Iraqi international Ali Al Hamadi from Wimbledon. He's got 5 goals, 7 assists in the last 10 games, and that's it's
crazy, gang. That is.
Yeah. Does it?
I've been talking for ages. My mic's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Sausage.
Al Hamadi. I've been watching videos of him, guys. He reminds me of Kim Al-Roof loads. The way he runs off the ball, the way he moves around. He looks quite good, actually. I said this last night.
Are his socks low?
Yeah, they are.
Does he have low socks? Are there?
Yes. He looks quite a player. I'll be interested to see how far this one goes. Actually, he looks like he could fit into this setup.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just briefly back onto Gnonto. I'll come to you, James, because I know you're quite passionate about it. Does it show that if he's not willing to try and fight to get back onto that starting 11 team sheet, and he just goes, I just want to go? I mean, obviously, it's speculation now because he's come out and done that. Whether he's saving face or not, I don't know. But if a player is, I'll just go in January, then I want out, that shows a lack of fighting determination, obviously. But I want to know your thoughts on that, mate.
Oh, God. If he comes and he performs and he's a good player, he's everyone can see that he's a good player, then we'll just play him. But if he doesn't and he wants to go, then fuck off, mate. Just go away. That's it.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the discussion. I don't want to talk about him anymore until he starts playing well or he's gone.
I actually quite think Gnonto would play well in that Pirro role. I actually think he'd play quite well in there. I don't know. I'm not a tactician master, but he's small. He gets around the pitch. He's aerodynamic. You know what I mean? He's quality, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another good shout for me. Because he played there at Zurich for a period of games. I don't like him honestly as his best position in the middle, but he can play there, and you may try to play him on the wing and Somerville in the middle, for example. But we tried that in pre-season with Somerville in the middle. If you want to play all of them, because Pirro, of course, is not scoring right now, but he's also not contributing to the build-up. He's not pressing. He's the one struggling. He did better in the second half versus Leicester, but I'm still convinced that if we switch them, because basically Rotor is the real number 10 in our squad because he plays all around. But also Pirro gets back to get the ball. So we have 210 coming back and playing all around. We need a number 9 staying forward. And the real problem is that if you play Gnonto in the middle, you have Rotor going all around, and the problem remains because you have no number 9. I think the only real number 9 we have is trying to stretch the team where he plays in the little amount of minutes he plays. It's Bamford, really. That's the other problem, because I think in January we need to go and look at the real number 9 to get, for example, Pirro, because he's basically a number playing in the 10, Bamford, and you need another number 1. Because if Pirro is not scoring, you have Bamford, and Bamford, we've seen that he's struggling to get back into form and also confidence. And you have no other one. There's other people saying Joseph might be given a chance, but I think Joseph, one, Farke sees him more like a winger because in preseason he used to play in all the games on the wing. Second, we don't know how his impact in professional football will be because, for example, Sonny Perkins and now Sam Greenwood is starting to do well for Borough, but they used to play very well in the youth sides, but they struggled when they faced their first impact with professional football. So it's a risk to give all that pressure on a young lad for me.
Yeah,
straight away.
Well put, mate.
Yeah.
So another bit of news, right? I'll blast over these last bits because it's around 50 minutes, and I know that people want to get away and enjoy the Friday night. I think you've got.
Oh,
what happened there?
He got away. He got away. And he got away.
Yeah, and I'm back, and you're back in the room. Right, so Aronson's had a bit of a torrid time, hasn't he? He's now lost 25 games, league games that is. He's lost his 14th consecutive game, I think, with Union Berlin, and it was against Koch. Calamity Koch beat him, and he's got 5 wins in 40 games in this year. How bad is that?
Yeah,
Kev?
really bad.
It's terrible, and it's absolutely terrible. I can't think of any. I mean, that's just really bad.
It's just
what is he thinking about himself, man? What? Yeah, James Watt, Premier League breaks people. Leeds breaks people. He must be thinking
25 million.
Yeah, I mean, Salzburg, right? They dominate every single year. He must have thought he was a great player over there. You're not doing jinking around, not getting tackled and that. Like that all the time, bobbing his head round. Comes to the Premiership, gets done in. Now he's gone to Germany and getting done in. And then he's coming out in the press saying, "Oh, I might be back at Leeds." And the fans are not enjoyed that.
It's more than the hope.
Yeah, he knows he's coming back, and he knows he's coming back.
He'll be straight back out there,
straight back out again.
Because I can't.
Yeah. That's the problem, you know. Who will take him? Who will take him? That's the problem.
Yeah, I suppose.
Another loan, probably.
He's not advertising well, is he? If he can't make it in the Bundesliga, Union Berlin were an all right team. Yeah, probably go back to MLS and play the Salt Lake Cows or something.
Salty bitches.
Right, so we'll go into this next segment. We'll blast through it, and it's called "Show Me the Loney." So we'll just have a little brief overview of what everyone's doing. So let's all laugh at Sinistera, who fair play scored, but he lost 6-1.
Why did he put his stuff on social media? By the way, why is he put himself scoring a goal when he's been hammered 6-1? That is pathetic.
Self before side.
Because I was about to say that. I was exactly about to say that. That's his character on it.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Great player, loads of talent.
Great
shit
player,
for him. Harrison played 90 minutes. Up the chairs.
Robbie Savage is your agent.
Harrison got 90 minutes, and he seems to be working his way into the team and doing okay for them. I still hope they get relegated. Koch is doing all right. He got 90 minutes against Brendan Aronson's in it. Yeah, strong, stiff. So I've heard. Brendan Aronson, he came on in the same game against Robin Koch in the 83rd minute. It's not even getting like 20 minutes, half a game. He's just not. Even the fans, I've seen tweets for Brendan Aronson saying that it's just a waste of time.
To be fair, that game, I watched that game and it was really windy. It was really windy that game. So when he come on, it was just flowing above the players. He couldn't even get on the pitch. So give him a bit of a break.
And the stadium.
The only player that wears ankle width. Yeah.
Imagine he plays when it rains and his top gets heavy. I can't move. Help me!
Like a pile of clothes on the floor in the corner. Get up your shit.
Mate, he's the only player that wears ankle weights in a football match. Rocker, he seems to be doing really well. It looks like he's been poised to get a Spanish call up. Llorente and the Placid Viking did okay, but
No,
Rasmus
they were
Christensen is
horrible.
not well liked. Yeah,
They
I mean,
were-
can
they
you
were
fill us in a
horrible.
little bit on that?
No, they were horrible. Honestly, there's a team in Italy. If you ask me what team do you like in Italy, I say honestly Lazio. So there's the derby going on Sunday, Lazio versus Roma. Hope
Yeah.
they get absolutely battled by Lazio, honestly, because they are doing it horribly, and Mourinho is always finding excuses. You know, every time, you know, about Roma. Roma played. Were down for 90 minutes against Lecce, 1-0. Then they had 2 shots in injury time, and they won the game. And you know,
Prolific.
after that,
That's what you call that.
Mourinho is a communication master. You know, always how to praise the team when they win, making it all about himself, and when they lose, you know, it's always a different scapegoat.
Rasmus's fault.
Sometimes, sometimes it's the referee. Sometimes it's the schedule. Sometimes it's the you know, the league, everything. But yeah, Christensen starting in the team and now has lost his place to Karsdorp. And Llorente, I saw briefly yesterday the game against Slavia Praga when they lost, where they lost 2-0. He was subbed off early in the second half, and he went off like this. He was really unhappy to be subbed off, but they were playing horribly. They were playing
so
horribly.
sad.
Yeah. The thing is
Good
with
impression you
Llorente,
did there,
right?
Andrea.
I think
Do it again.
if you what do you mean? No, all right, sorry. So if you go back with Llorente, right? If you go back far enough in his gene pool, his family tree, I think there'll be a giraffe in there. I just can't help it. He's just got a long neck and he's knobbly knees. Anyway. This is not a bullying podcast. This is about Leeds United that bullies other players. Greenwood has scored 3 goals in 5 games, so he seems to be picking up a bit of form. And there's a buyout clause, I think, of 1.5 mil, which if he keeps doing this form, it might be a bit of bad business. But
yeah, I think we'll regret that, Danny, if I'm being honest. I mean, I know he's not going to cut the mustard at Leeds, but I think we'll regret getting rid of him for 1.5 mil, though. Definitely.
Yeah. Drama's had 11 straight starts, but nothing notable, I don't think. I think Birmingham fans will be waxing lyrical about him, but, you know. And the cherry on the cake is that Perkins finally got a goal. He's finally got a goal against Maidenhead. But what does that say? That he comes on against Maidenhead, they're non-league, aren't they?
Non-league, yeah.
So, yeah. And I've just got here, Adams is still injured. Wait for Kev to laugh. There you go.
We absolutely robbed Bournemouth, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely robbed Bournemouth in the summer with those 2 times.
I hope Perkins takes Adam's Maidenhead. That would be good for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maidenhead.
Right. So we're moving on to, obviously, we've got the Pirate Botherers tomorrow. I believe, or Cider Botherers, whichever one you would like to put.
Pilgrims.
So
Pilgrims, yeah.
Pilgrim Botherers.
Mayflower.
What is your Pilgrim's choice, by the way?
Mayflower was the name of the
ones that
ship,
went to America.
Yeah.
Oh, what about cheese? That was a cheese pun. God's sake, nobody gets these things anymore.
No.
James
you have to be.
Yeah.
It must be a middle.
Cheese went off there, mate.
Right. So, are you, Kev? Are you getting a good vibe from tomorrow?
I think we're going to win 6-1. I really do. I'll come out with that.
Very good vibe.
I said this on Joe's podcast last night. I think we're going to win 6-1, and the only reason I think we're going to score, they're going to score, it will be maybe even an own goal by Liam Cooper. I think we're going to absolutely run right tomorrow. I've just got this feeling. And White Kit home. Jorginho Rutter 6-1. I know I'm not. This is not me doing the James as well. I'm not doing a James here. We're going to win 6-1 tomorrow.
So, if you've watched this podcast for the past 50 episodes or less, you will know that whatever Kev says doesn't come true. He's actually quite the opposite. So,
1-6 it's going to be.
He's a self-confessed. He's a self-confessed jinx. James, do you echo his optimism? I just noticed.
I think
it's there, Andrea.
Oh, what magic!
I moved.
Teleported.
Teleported.
I like it.
He apparated.
Yeah.
I think we should absolutely destroy them tomorrow. We should absolutely go to town on these tomorrow. but hope that old Leeds curse don't turn up. You know what we're talking about, where we just should be and we don't. But I think we will. I think I'll go along with Kev. I think it's going to be a big scoring game. I don't think they're going to score. Definitely going to score though. Yeah. After that defensive display against Leicester, if we can replicate that in any way against these, I think we'll be sound.
Even without our own pirate.
Yeah.
Andrea,
he mentioned about Byron possibly playing centre back as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
In this conf. And that piqued my interest a little bit. And we're like, oh,
who's that?
Okay.
Andrea, is there someone there with you?
Yeah, and all the students, all the students.
Right. Time to shut up. They're being too loud.
Right. You don't want James to get a flight over there, Andrea. That's all I'm saying. Don't let him get a flight. I think he's on the no-fly list anyway, so he'll have to get a boat. He'll borrow one of the Pilgrims tomorrow.
Yeah.
Andrea, I want to get your thoughts. Just a quick overview of tomorrow. Do you think good vibes, bad vibes, medium vibes?
Yeah, good vibes. I think it'll be a game very similar to the one we played at Ipswich, because I think they have similarities with them, but not the quality they have. So I think it'd be a nice scoring game. If we're gonna make a prediction, I'm gonna say 4-2 for us. I think we score lots of goals, but I think we also concede. I think twice. I think he'll play with Cooper and Rod. Honestly, to be fair, I think he won't move, for example, Byram from the flank, because Byram and Gray are the two I go with, honestly, in the back line as the fullbacks, because they have two good players, Mumba and Whittaker on the wings. So there'll be spaces to attack like we did at Ipswich, but we also need to defend because they are very good on the counter with those two wingers, So I think we need to have two players who can do both, and in Sam Byram on the left and Archie Gray on the right. So it's also a reference to Firpo. Firpo cannot talk, but he's struggling to defend, and I think he'll be called out tomorrow if he plays. But 4-2 in my point of view, honestly.
And their forwards injured. And their forwards,
Whittaker, is
their
it?
forwards injured.
Hardy.
Yeah, Hardy's injured. Ryan, if their top scorer's injured, that's going to be a big blow for them, I think.
Yeah.
Right. So
No
we'll
goals.
quickly thing. So, Kev, I know that you need to go, but I need. I want your prediction, your quick thoughts on strike, and the team you think.
Our prediction 6-1.
Oh, he's crashed.
Yeah, you're still there, Danny. You just got your finger in your eye. Yes, prediction is 6-1, mate. Yeah, prediction is 6-1. Team, I think he's going to keep exactly the same team except for Cooper and for Stroke. That's what's going to be tomorrow. Okay, and what else do you need from me, mate?
Your insides out.
A positive attitude next time, please.
Sorry, mate. I can't.
Can you be healthy next
I've
time?
been good today. Yeah, I can be healthy next time.
Can't you just take laptops to the toilet with you?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
no.
can't you just film yourself out? You just film yourself having a shit.
Oh, no, I can't. All right, guys, I'm going to go, okay? I can't believe you just said
We're
that.
bubbling hot. We're bubbling
No, he's got stuff
hot.
to do. You've got stuff
All
to
right,
do.
guys,
Right,
I'll
thanks,
see you
Kev.
soon, okay?
I'll see you
Cheers.
next week.
Thank you.
Gotta go put the
Bye,
milk.
Kev. Get well soon.
Bye-bye.
Right, so we'll quickly move on. I mean,
From the sorting hat to the bubbling
what I
hat.
want to say, James, is curdling. So, James, who do you think we should be looking out for? Like in
What, Plymouth players?
Do you know any of their players?
I ain't got a clue, mate. I don't pay attention to other teams, mate. I'm just a Leeds fan. I like to see who we play.
Okay, same question,
against
but to Andrea.
when they turn up. Cheers for cutting me off.
Well, I think the main one,
That's-
Finazas, the Irish one. I think I was surprised he wasn't called up by Ireland for the. I keep disappearing. I don't know why. I think he'll be one. He's underrated as a good player. Of course, Mumba and Whittaker, the two ones I mentioned, are the two players. I think they're performing more consistently. But the one I particularly like is Azaz. It's a creative player, can play box to box, can cover a lot of the area onto the pitch. So I think he's a player to look out for also for the future in terms of championship teams, not just Plymouth. If he I think it would be one like Smaldish. What happened with Smaldish when he was at Peterborough, and then he moved to Blackburn, and then now he's performing well at Blackburn. It can be the same, if they if they stay up, and they're likely to stay up. They probably get a move to another Championship side, probably top mid half.
Yeah. So we've had his predictions. I'm going to say I think it'll be a 2-0 to Leeds. I'm going to go 2-0. I think Perot and Somerville will
We're
actually
going 5-0, mate.
the
4-2.
go 5-0. 4-2.
5-0.
I think if you get the average, I think it'll be 3-1. I'll go with the average. Right, because I know we are pressing on now, and we'll go on to the next segment, which is Top Knob. Now, if you're not here, if you've not seen this before, what we do is we pick people who've annoyed us throughout the week, and we nominate them for Top Knob, and then we all vote on who should be the top knob. The top of the knob champion so far, or the leader, the Leicester, if you will, is Radrizzani. So let's see if anyone can beat it. So let's get into this week's Top Knob.
Top Knob.
Top Knob. Right, I would like to come to Andrea first. So who would you like to pick for Top Knob?
Yeah, I know. I knew about this space, this segment. So I was thinking earlier what to name. Until this morning, I would have named Erik ten Hag, probably, because of his excuses after Copenhagen,
Ooh.
But yeah, I hope he stays in his job. I hope he doesn't lose his job. I'm going to lose my job.
No.
And I hope he stays for a long time.
He's doing amazing.
Yeah, he's doing amazing. A great manager,
He's doing a really good job.
He's brought an era to the Man City and Liverpool legacies also. So I hope he stays.
Great captain.
I'm not going to name great leader also in the dressing room. He knows how to handle players. In particular, Maguire, Rashford. He knows how to handle them, especially. But yeah, I'm not going to name him actually, because today I saw an interview by Alex Crook on Evan Ferguson, and Evan Ferguson he was born in Dublin. He's Irish basically, because his father is Irish and his mother is English. He has already been asked multiple times about aim switching, like Rice and Grealish did from the Republic of Ireland to England, multiple times in the past, and he has always said that he wants to play for Ireland. He has 8 caps, 8 caps for Ireland, so he cannot switch anymore. And he was asked, "Are we going to see you play with a white shirt for England in the future?" And he said, "No, and that's not going to happen." "But why are you so committed to play for Ireland?" "Because I'm Irish," he said. It wasn't a good look for the journalist. And also he tweeted out later that he asked the question because the Ferguson mother was born in England. But you should know your stuff that after 3 caps you cannot switch. After 3 full international caps you cannot switch anymore. He has 8 caps, so even if he wanted to, he couldn't have switched to England at this stage, So this is my nominee for today, Crook. Hopefully he'll do better in the future. Yeah. For him, I hope for him.
James?
I wish him so. Yeah.
I'm going to vote Kev for pissing. No, not really. I won't vote Kev. It's got to be Maresca, isn't it? It's got to be whingy, whiny Maresca, being a bit of a bitter bitch, weren't he? Probably a bit of mind games, but to say that they should have won, well, pretty much saying they should have won, and also saying that Sunderland are better than us. Get out of here. Get away.
Get out of here.
Get out of it. You're
have
more
to say,
top knob anyway.
Vattene.
Anyway, that's my Italian. That's my Italian.
I'll eat you with the garlic bread.
I'll throw a pizza at your face. So I will go with. I've got 2 nominations. The first one is the bloody British weather, because I'm sick of it and I'm wetter than an otter's pocket every day, and I can't be arsed with it. But I'll go with Maresca as well, because he's just a whingy, nit-ridden minge face, and I.
Minge face.
Do you know what I mean? I just can't stand it. So well done, Maresca. They're all knobs. They're all knobs anyway. But the Maresca, you are this week's top knob.
Top Knob.
I should get an award for this, Danny. You pick 3 of my top knobs, mate. I should get a big knob award.
I'll
I'm
just
picking the best
like-
top knobs.
I like taking your knobs. Is that?
Yeah.
No. All
I'll
right,
give
okay.
good knob.
This is an
I'll give good top knob.
X-rated podcast. I'll give you the
X-rated
top knob award at ND's.
the X.
So now we are on to our last segment, which is Ash's question corner. Now, if you're on Twitter,
Oof.
you know Lord Ash. He's on Twitter and he's an absolute menace.
The
when
banter
he's got
king.
questions
The
for
banter
all of
king.
us. And I've got another question.
That's where
for
it gets
Andrea.
serious.
But this is for both of you. What would you rather have? What? I need like millionaire. What would you rather have? Would you have a clown constantly follow you, or a flock of seagulls constantly chasing you? Which would you rather have? There's no, I can't. It's one of them.
Clown.
Andrea, I'll come to you first.
Clown too. Yeah,
Tom?
clown too. I think it's a reference to the Old Trafford is falling down chant too. I think probably from Ash here, you know.
So
Because you were talking about the
clown
CDs.
then.
Yeah, I think the clown is better. You know, the seagulls are more bothering you. You know, and they
Yeah.
can
Noisy
bite you.
fuckers as well.
Yeah, and
But does the-
Shitting everywhere.
Does a clown have squeaky shoes though? That's the thing.
You ask the question, you tell us.
Well,
doing
in
the
your
clown.
mind.
You can always
Me.
take your shoes off. You can't take the birds out of the sky, so clown.
Yeah, but you can go inside. Birds
You
can't
can-
really.
you can
Doors,
talk to the
can they?
clown too.
Ooh.
You can.
Have you seen the film Birds? Have you seen the film Birds, Dan? Have you seen it?
Yeah, and I've noticed they're all outside.
Yeah, but they break in at some point, and they will eventually.
At some point, but clowns can open doors, can't they?
Yeah, but they can shit
Right.
in your house.
You can talk with the clown too. You cannot talk with the seagulls.
No. Can't
but you
reason
can
with a seagull.
But you can
What
punch
are we
both.
saying?
Come on, take the nose off, mate.
Right. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with us, I will say. And much appreciated for Andrea coming on this week. I know you're a
Yes.
very sought after man. It's always a pleasure to have you on,
Always.
Andrea. And
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I will send you your I Survived 3 Times t-shirt. Not Another Leeds podcast. It's in the post. Just send me your address. James, always, last survivor as per. I'm
I
sure
don't need
Kev
to
would
go
say.
to the toilet.
No, thanks very much, everyone, for watching and putting up with us on this week's episode. Please like and subscribe. It would make a massive difference for us because we don't get paid apart from sponsors. We are on the road to 300 subscribers, so please like and subscribe if you're new, if you're watching it for the first time, and we will see you next week. So what we do now, Andrea, is you can rather pretend to read like a news anchor, or you can just wave gormlessly like me. Which do you want to do?
I don't know. Wave.
Yeah, you'll wave. Right. So thanks, everyone. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. I love it.
Good night, guys.
Arrivederci.
Bye-bye.
See you later.